What is up, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and today I'm going to break down some more Steven Universe Easter eggs. This is the third video discussing Steven Universe Easter eggs, as you can probably tell by the part 3 on the title, so, go check out the first two parts. I'll just give you a quick sec to do that. Take your time. T-Pain's an underrated artist. I don't care what anybody says. Anyway, now that you're all caught up, let's Easter some eggs, or whatever. When Garnet fights her Lapis water clone, the punching sequence is reminiscent of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In Nightmare Hospital, there's a hospital room with a sign that says Dr. Gero, which is undoubtedly a reference to the Dragon Ball Z antagonist, Dr. Gero. And just to add to that, the patient in the room is Patient 20, which is especially fitting since Dr. Gero ends up becoming Android 20 in Dragon Ball Z. Definitely one of my favorite Easter eggs. In Steven vs. Amethyst, we get a close look at Steven's GameCube controller, which reads Dolphin. This is either a reference to the GameCube's original code name, Dolphin, and or the name of the PC GameCube emulator of the same name. In Steven Floats, when Garnet and Steven are playing checkers, just as Garnet is about to make a move, a red exclamation point appears with a quick alarm sound, which is a reference to Metal Gear Solid. Another one of my favorite references is when Steven exclaims that Buck was making Pizza Rain. Buck says, "I only wanted to see you laughing in the Pizza Rain," which is a parody of the late great Prince's iconic Purple Rain. Okay, so now Amethyst's room is full of stuff. We've got what appears to be slimes from Dragon Quest, a copy of the No Homeboys Mystery Train, a Wheel of Fortune wheel, probably stolen from Funland, a question block from Super Mario, a Lloyd from Animal Crossing, a Super Leaf, again from Super Mario, a giant Snorlax plush, and what appears to be Aladdin's magic carpet. There's also a Triceratops fossil, which could be a reference to Animal Crossing and collecting fossils, but I'm not sure. Also, when reformed, there's a thing of Lon Lon milk from Legend of Zelda on top of the cabinet. In Greg the Babysitter, Greg is playing a game called Potato Brothers, which is obviously reminiscent of the Mario Brothers arcade game. In The Answer, when Rose is fighting the Ruby Soldiers, she does a move that appears to be a reference to Akuma's Raging Demon in Street Fighter. Steven's Ranger Guy action figure has Steven's initials on the bottom of his boot, akin to Woody having Andy's name on his in Toy Story. In Keystone Motel, when the waitress hands Ruby the plate of eggs with a bacon smiley face, it is a reference to the Goofy movie. Even the motel scenes seem to have drawn inspiration from the film. The episode Beach City Drift is alluding to Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. When Steven says, "You got it, dude," he says it in the manner of Michelle Tanner. Rhymes from Full House. Again, from Greg the Babysitter, Greg yells, "Get me off this crazy thing," which is the famous line from George Jetson. In Gem Hunt, Connie jokingly wonders if the humanoid tracks they were following were from a guy in a monster suit, but follows up with, "That only happens in cartoons, usually over a property dispute." This is a nod to Scooby-Doo, because nothing handles property disputes better than terrorizing civilians. Inside Greg's van in the message, we can see what appears to be a copy of Queen's album, News of the World. Speaking of albums, Greg pulls out an album by Stella, which is a parody of Estelle, who is the voice of Garnet. Garnet even ironically shakes her head in disapproval of the album. In Too Short to Ride, Peridot obtains a tablet from Steven, but she actually has some real-life apps, or at the very least, apps based off real-life apps. They are TubeTube, which is YouTube, The Sims, Neko Atsume, Tumblr, Facebook, Vine, Instagram, and Tinder. Hey, Peridot's getting it in, boy. In Bubbled, Eyeball says, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 4 times, you already fooled me, and you can't fool me again." This is a reference to that one time George W. Bush flubbed the famous saying, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me," and instead said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me can't get fooled again." Now, what about references to Steven Universe and other pieces of media? Well, in Adventure Time, the Empress has a gem that closely resembles Steven and Rose Quartz's gem. In Uncle Grandpa, there's a boy on a scooter that looks a lot like Steven, just a bit more Wally-fied, I guess. Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, and Steven also appear in Uncle Grandpa as themselves in an award show among other Cartoon Network characters. What are the rules of Uncle Grandpa's universe exactly? I don't understand. In Batgirl Volume 4, issue number 41, there are 2 women seen in the background of a bar that look just like Garnet and Pearl. In the anime movie Little Witch Academia, The Enchanted Parade, there's a character that bears a striking resemblance to Connie, along with 2 characters that look like they're based off of Dipper and Mabel. There are also 2 characters that sort of look like Rebecca Sugar and Ian Jones Quartley, but this is a bit of a stretch. In the webcomic XKCD, the gems can be seen on the warp pad along with Darth Vader in the starship, explaining Steven being a half gem. I have no idea what this comic is, but I'm very intrigued. And speaking of things I didn't know were things, there was actually a Steven Universe costume pack in Little Big Planet, featuring Steven, Lion, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. And boy, they do not look okay. Pearl, you alright there? You feeling okay? You a little under the weather? But that covers it for part 3 of our Little Steven Universe Easter egg hunt. We will be back with a part 4 and beyond if we have enough to go off of. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and go ahead and follow my Twitter too. I really appreciate that. Also want to give a shout out to our awesome patrons. If you haven't already, check out our Patreon. Consider supporting it. You can get some awesome perks and it really helps out the channel. But anyways, guys, I've been Michael Williams. You've been watching Cartoon Universe and we will see you in the next video. Peace.